We have more legal news, this time concerning a former WWE Intercontinental Champion arrested for DWI in a McDonald's drive-thru incident. The first McDonald's incident since Ken Patera in the 80s. Joe Hennig, the former Curtis Axel, son of the late WWE Hall of Famer Mr. Perfect Curt Hennig, is facing multiple charges related to an incident at a McDonald's drive-thru in Minnesota. Records show that Hennig was arrested in Anoka County on May 17th on charges of DWI, refusing to submit to chemical tests, and failing to stop for an accident. The Watch Minnesota, I guess that's out of a newspaper or a website, but the Watch MN reports that charges also include obstructing the legal process, having an open bottle of alcohol in his car, and disorderly conduct. And he spent 2 days behind bars before he was released on May 19th. So it wasn't like he was placed behind bars and then a few hours later he got bailed out. He was basically locked up for a good 48 hours. According to an arrest report obtained by the Watch MN, police were dispatched to a McDonald's in St. Francis shortly before 9 p.m. due to a property damage crash where a vehicle backed into another in the drive-thru. Police found Hennig slowly navigating the parking lot and claimed that he reeked of alcohol, had bloodshot and watery eyes, well, so do I today, and was slurring his speech. An open bottle of vodka was found in the vehicle. Police say the 46-year-old had to be physically removed from his vehicle, was swearing at them, and uttered a slur. When instructed to step out of the vehicle, Hennig reportedly refused. Officers subsequently opened the door, reached inside to turn off the engine, and placed the keys on the passenger seat. After continued defiance, officers physically removed Hennig from the truck, escorted him to the ground, and handcuffed him. And while seated in the squad car, an officer read him the Minnesota breath test advisory. Hennig allegedly refused chemical testing and responded with profanities, including, "I don't give a shit," and "fuck you, you F," and then I don't know what this word is, and I'm not going to say it. He's also said to have sworn at the McDonald's staff and the female driver that he backed into. During the investigation, a McDonald's employee reported that Hennig had been mumbling in the drive-thru before pulling forward, swearing at staff, and backing into another vehicle. He then allegedly opened his door and yelled at the female driver, calling her a bitch and I guess that's pussy. An inventory search of his vehicle prior to towing yielded a 750 milliliter open bottle of Phillips vodka on the front passenger side floorboard. The most serious of the charges Hennig is facing, the two related to DWI/DUI, are classified as gross misdemeanors, which are serious misdemeanors that do not rise to the level of a felony. Hennig is a former Intercontinental Champion and Tag Team Champion. He was released by WWE in 2020 as part of the pandemic-related cuts that they made. He did come back 2 years later, though. He had a brief stint as a part-time producer, which only lasted 3 months. Now, he has claimed in other interviews that it was a part-time gig, and it ended when Vince McMahon and Johnny Ace got wrapped up in the hush money scandal. I don't know why that would impact him, but he claims that's why he was let go. They told him they couldn't afford to have him around, just hang back. And then they never called him back, which sounds kind of sus to me. But it sounds to me like they just didn't want him for the job anymore. But they paired him up, when you think about the push that he got, and God, this is going back probably 2013. They paired him up with Paul Heyman once upon a time, right? That's when he won the Intercontinental title that his father once held. But his father's shadow just loomed very large, and he never attained the level of success that they had hoped that he would. He's one of the failures as Paul Heyman guys go. And then later, they had him doing comedy work as part of the B-Team faction. I mean, first it was the Miz Taraj, and then it was the B-Team, and then he was unemployed. And in the last 6 years, he's only worked one match on an independent show last year in Minnesota. He was tagging with Von Wagner. I was wondering whatever happened to Von Wagner. Remember him? The son of Bo of the Beverly Brothers. And that's the only match he's had in the last 6 years since WWE let him go. I don't know what he's been doing with his time since then. It's just very sad. It's sad to see him like this. You look at the mugshot, he doesn't look well. Just drunk off his ass, cussing people out. I do feel bad for him, but I feel worse for the people he put in harm's way by getting behind the wheel intoxicated. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. I've covered a lot of these stories, I feel like, on the Sound Off over the years, over these many, many years. And it always pisses me off, right? It's just a very selfish thing to do. And I think the laws are way too lax when it comes to driving under the influence, right? It's one thing if it's a first offense, which it may be for him. I don't know if he's gotten into trouble for this before. But we have seen far too many stories of wrestlers getting popped for this sort of thing multiple times, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and being allowed back behind the wheel without any sort of ignition interlock device or without getting their license revoked, at least for a period of time, right? Or you have people whose license gets suspended and then they fucking drive anyway. It's infuriating. And even worse when you hear about these like non-wrestling stories of drunk drivers who get behind the wheel and get in an accident, and then innocent people die, but the driver survives. Like, how many times have we heard that? I mean, look at the Tammy Sitch case. She actually killed somebody. And it's just infuriating. And hopefully he doesn't become one of those people where we read about him getting arrested 3 or 4 times and, putting other people's lives in danger. Hopefully he can get the help he needs so that something like this doesn't happen again. I see some people on social media cracking jokes about this online. Oh, he's still in the Royal Rumble, though, like that sort of thing. I don't find any of this to be funny.